Hello, my name is Gabriel Bazan. This is my final project for the subject Geocultural Challenge of Globalization. So, this project is based on watching and trying to solve a problem of the world. And first, I think that a problem like the immigrants or the problems with migration would be a really good subject, but then I start to think that that kind of stuff is something really real, if we can say in a way. And I I'm trying to make this video to get to the most people possible and trying to make consent about a subject that for me is something that people should think about, and that is humor. In the semester we saw that humor can be powerful and can be also offensive. But why is it offensive? So, first of all, we have to get the concept of humor and dark humor. Humor is just something, a feeling that we have of making just making laughter about something, and dark humor is just laughing about certain subjects that are really intense, like death, racism, religion. And of course, that doesn't mean we can just do it and that's it. But we need to get some help about this kind of stuff. Why do I say that? This is because for a lot of time I have think that humor is becoming something that is kind of seen in the wrong way. There are a lot of people that just make jokes about some certain stuff, and a lot of people that get offended, not because they are offended, but just because they think that what that people said is not funny, and does just make a certain excuse just to say you're not funny, what you're saying is something serious. And yeah, maybe it is, but that is the point of humor, to see something that is serious, something that is may be happening or just happened in the past, and just see it as something funny. That is the definition of humor, seeing stuff in a funny way. And I think that because of that, that definition has been gone for a while. And with this video I'm trying to make consent about that, because it is just seen in a really bad way. For example, dark humor is something really special, because for now we have a lot of information today, and it's really hard to make people laugh because we have something funny or something that can make us laugh in a lot of social media or in a lot of newspapers or whatever. So by the time keeps going, it is harder to make people laugh. But that doesn't mean we cannot talk about certain subjects. Of course, we have to have limits. I cannot talk about the coronavirus if I'm talking about the people dying about that virus and just laughing about it. That's not funny. That's not humor. Humor is talking about the virus and about some certain specific activities or some actions that happens because of the pandemic, because the coronavirus just expanded, but not talking about the virus by itself. So what I'm trying to get with this is humor is based on perspective. What you may think is funny, I may not think is funny, but that doesn't mean that I should get mad and just say that's not funny, you should not talk about that. No, everyone is different. Everyone has different perspective about what they think is funny or not. And I think what I'm trying to get with this video is just to get to the younger generations and see that they should not get offended by some certain subjects, because there are a lot of subjects that we should just laugh about just to forget how bad they are. Because that's, as I said at the beginning of the video, that's the power of humor. That's what it can do. Just make us forget about some certain subjects that are really bad. For example, here in Mexico, our politicians, they are just seen as people that are corrupted and people that are really bad, but we make a lot of jokes about it. Why? Because we think it's funny, and because we think that our situation can be just forgotten by some certain jokes. But that doesn't change the thing that our situation is still bad. So we have to separate these two words, offense and power, and get the word humor between these two words. As I said before, there are limits. So if I get the word humor between power and offensive, we have to have a line, a limit, that in which we say, okay, but we cannot talk about this by itself. What is my solution here? My solution here is that in every way, in every single way that we can absorb, if we can say in some way, humor, if we can absorb humor on a platform or on a place, we should get some warnings. Why? Because as I said before, everyone is different and everyone has different experience that may change their perspective of what they think is good or not for them. So, for example, there's a comedian here on Mexico called Franco Escamilla that he has really dark humor, and he explains on the beginning of his show, and he says the first thing he says is, "I'm sorry if I say something that makes you think it is offensive." And that should not be that way. That should not be his work. I think that we should have some specialist or some experts that categorize that kind of humor and have some warnings on the theaters or whatever he's presenting, and say, warning, this person has really dark humor. That doesn't mean it's not funny, but he talks about certain stuff that could be offensive, and that depends on you if you want to take that risk. And that leads me to the next subject, that is YouTube and Twitch. YouTube is a platform where we can see videos, and Twitch is a platform where we can see people streaming on live. And these two platforms compete in a different way, because Twitch doesn't categorize their people and YouTube does. But what YouTube does is categorize their kind of videos in a really wrong way. If YouTube sees something that think it's offensive or think it's really intense, they categorize this video just to be shown for people that are grown-ups. And I think that's not correct, because there are a lot of teenagers that understand this kind of stuff and think it's funny and doesn't affect their perspective, and they are denied to see this kind of stuff. I think, as I said before, we should have experts, people that really think in a normal way and see, okay, this can be offensive for children, this can be something that is not good for them, but for teenagers it may be something funny. So that's my solution for this problem. This problem is getting really intense time to time, because as we keep going, we just get offended by more stuff. And if we continue like this, there will be a time where humor is no longer humor, but just offensive way to say something that you think it's funny, and that's not the purpose of humor. That will be all for my video. I think that, well, I hope that I can get a lot of support with this, because I think that for younger generations they should know what's considered humor and what is considered offensive, because nowadays is something that is getting really confusing for some people. That will be all. Thank you.